Hello readers, and welcome back to A Story a Day Storybook Advent Calendar. Today is day 6. Today's storybook is special because inside one book we have 3 stories, and the name for this special book on day 6 is Frosty Friends. Little Bunny Snowman. Little Bunny was very excited. "There's snow in the garden," he squeaked. "Let's have a competition," shouted his big sister. "The best snowman wins." "Little Bunny's too small to make a snowman," laughed his big brother. "No, I'm not," said Little Bunny crossly. Little Bunny watched his brother scoop up the snow with his paws, pat it into a ball, and roll it along the ground. The little snowball got bigger and bigger until it was almost the size of Little Bunny's head. "That looks easy," said Little Bunny. He scooped up some snow and started to roll. Whoops! He tripped over and the snowball fell to pieces. "Oh dear," said his brother, "you're no good at making a big snowball." Little Bunny's sister had made her own snowman and was decorating it. She wrapped a purple scarf around his neck and gave him an old woolly hat to wear. "You can give him this carrot for a nose if you like," said Little Bunny's sister. Little Bunny tried to press the carrot gently into the snowman's head to give him a nose. He pushed a bit too hard, and the snowman's head wobbled this way and that. "Little Bunny!" shouted his sister. "You're ruining my snowman!" "Perhaps I am too small to make a snowman," thought Little Bunny. He walked away sadly, but he wasn't looking where he was going. Thump! He bumped into the bottom of a tree. Flump! All the snow from the branches fell on top of him. Little Bunny was covered in a blanket of cold, wet snow. He ran back to tell his brother and sister what had happened, but when they saw him, they looked scared. "Help! Help!" shouted his brother. "It's a walking snowman!" Little Bunny shook off the snow and it flew all over the garden. His brother and sister laughed when they saw that he was the snowman. "Little Bunny," said his brother, "you've won the competition." "Yes," giggled his sister, "you made the best snowman by far." Frosty morning. It was a cold winter's morning and Squirrel was tucked up in bed. "Let's play outside," said Mom, but Squirrel just snuggled under the covers. "I don't like playing outside when it's cold," he moaned. "Come on, it'll be fun," said Mom. Squirrel finally groaned and rolled out of bed. "There are lots of interesting things to see when it's cold," said Mom. She pointed to a row of icicles hanging from the windowsill. Squirrel snapped one off and threw it through the air. "It's like an ice rocket," he said, as it landed with a crash on the path. In the rose bushes, Squirrel noticed frosty cobwebs and frozen raindrops hanging from the leaves. They sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight. Squirrel was amazed. "Everything looks so magical," he said, blowing on the cobwebs so they glittered and glimmered. "The grass is all spiky. It crunches when I walk on it," said Squirrel. "That's because it's covered in frost," said Mom. Squirrel ran around in circles, giggling to himself. "Look, Mom," he said, "I'm making frost patterns on the grass." Squirrel scampered over to the pond. "Wow, it's frozen," he said. He threw some little stones and they skidded across the surface. Then Squirrel dropped a big stone on the ice. "Cool," gasped Squirrel as it broke with a sharp crack. "Look, the fish can come up for air now," said Squirrel's mother. Squirrel's mother shivered. "I'm cold," she said. "I think it's time to go." "Can I stay out longer? Please, Mom," said Squirrel. "There's so much to see." Squirrel's mother smiled. "I thought you didn't like playing out in the cold." "I don't like it," said Squirrel, laughing. "I love it." Hide and go seek. Polar Bear was playing hide and go seek with his friend Brown Bear. "You hide first," he said. "I'll count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brown Bear dashed off and dived into a pile of brown leaves. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. "Coming, ready or not." Polar Bear looked for a long time, but he couldn't find Brown Bear anywhere. "Where are you?" he called. "Boo! Here I am," called Brown Bear, jumping up. Now it was Polar Bear's turn to hide. He scrambled under a big green bush. Brown Bear finished counting and spotted her friend right away. "Found you," she shouted. "That was too easy. You can have another turn." Brown Bear shut her eyes and started counting again. Polar Bear ducked behind the garden shed and waited, keeping very still. "I can see you already," cried Brown Bear, pointing. Polar Bear couldn't work out why he was so easy to find. "It's because your fur is so white," said Brown Bear, giggling. Polar Bear didn't want to play hide and seek any more. He felt sad. "What's the matter, Polar Bear?" asked Brown Bear in a worried voice. Just then a snowflake fell, and then another, and another. Suddenly Polar Bear had an idea. "Can I hide one more time?" he asked, as he dived into the snow. He was very hard to spot because of his snow-white fur. Brown Bear looked everywhere for him. "I give up," she sighed at last. When Polar Bear sprang out, Brown Bear was so surprised that she fell over and got covered in snow. "Now I'll be good at hiding in snow too," she said. I love that this book was 3 books in one, and they were all so cute. Well, stay tuned, and we'll see you for day 7 in another story.